In Deep Thought, by Faye Colum Fairley. Once upon a time, a great artist wanted to create a most memorable masterpiece to bring an unprecedented art form of beauty to all who beheld it. He worked diligently to form each piece with masterful attention to detail. Each of the millions of pieces must be unique, having no duplicates in the entire structure. The colors of this artwork were unparalleled to any other colors. He blended different hues to create the colors for this marvelous sculptor. He provided the appropriate amount of light where it was needed to enable the moving pieces of this creation to emulate the exact balance of light and dark. He utilized the lights to give each movement a new presentation of color. He was very pleased with the work, and spent much time admiring it. He adored all the individual pieces on his artwork, and was on the watch for any damage that might befall it. With constant care of this creation, he carefully cleaned it when it was dusty, warmed it if it was cold, and gave it cool air if it got too warm. It was truly the most amazing thing he had ever done, and he was very devoted to keeping it safe. Even the most beautiful and brilliant pieces of art may sometimes succumb to the attacks of decay, bad lighting, and malfunction of moving parts. Thus was the case of this brilliant formation of art. For some inexplicable reason, the individual pieces began moving in opposite directions, causing the lighting to be defective. The colors were fading, and changing the tone of the beautiful art form he had admired and loved so much. The decay and negativity seemed to enshroud his lovely work until it became dark and gloomy. He knew something had to be done, so he carefully extracted the good pieces not affected, and enclosed them safely inside a container to keep them from harm. The entire project was affected and must be dealt with, or he would lose the beautiful structure to decay and darkness. After securing the pieces he had rescued from certain danger, he then took the entire artwork and submerged it completely in water. He kept the creation submerged over 3 months to guarantee that the water would cleanse all the affected areas of all impurities and decay. After the allotted time in the water, he brought it out, let it dry, then began putting the rescued pieces back on it very carefully. The entire object required as much work to restore it as it took to create it in the beginning. He finally had all the pieces replaced and restored to the state of beauty he had strived for. He did not want to ever go to that extreme again. From here out, if there was an endangered part of this formation, he would take care of only that spot. With air, he could carefully blow off the dust from all the intricate moving pieces. With a mist of water, he could wash away any unwanted dirt as well. If the decay showed its ugly head, he would burn it off with a blowtorch, being careful to only treat the affected area with extreme heat. He often shook the work gently to remove dust and other unwanted particles. As time went by, however, the spot cleaning seemed to be constant. The decay and devastation became more and more dominant on his beautiful creation. He soon found that he was using a stronger force of the wind, water, and heat, just to keep the deterioration at bay. He was finding that on some occasions, he had to utilize all these methods at once on different parts of the construction. He had a most brilliant idea at that time. He would create a perfect single piece to place on the structure that would have the ability to emit a healing power over the pieces close by. He could also place the perfect piece wherever he needed it at any time. He created a perfect piece with the awesome power to heal the affected areas. This was a most astonishing creation. This would eliminate the need for constant cleaning of affected areas. Each time he placed the perfect piece near an affected area, it would release a curing ability to the decayed area, and completely eradicate it. He was so happy with his perfect piece. It was beginning to heal the entire creation from the deadly decay. As with any beautiful solution, there is always opposition to slow it or stop it. The perfect piece was losing its ability to heal, because the other pieces objected to its power, and decided to change things up. These dark pieces were determined to get rid of that perfect piece once and for all. A few of the darkest pieces decided to work together when the perfect piece was placed with them. As they had previously planned, they each started moving in unison to repel the healing power of the perfect piece. It tried to move against the power of the other pieces, but they were too overwhelming. Just as they anticipated, the perfect piece was destroyed, and fell into a dust bed under the structure. When the artist saw what had happened, he picked up the perfect piece, and cleaned the dust from it. He then placed the perfect piece next to him, to keep him beside him forever. On the structure, the dark pieces are gaining more dark companions. There are still some pieces moving in the proper direction, but the decay seems to grow faster than the healing. The artist is thinking about a solution. This is much deeper than it sounds. Do you have any suggestions?